Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Hood. I'm a senior solution engineer here at DreamFactory, and today I'm going to show you how we can generate a fully secure database API for your data product or front end in less than 5 minutes, shaving days and weeks off your development time. So here we are in the DreamFactory UI, and the first thing I'm going to do is just connect to a database. That's going to give me a ton of options to choose from a data source perspective. In this case, what I want to choose is MySQL. We'll call this the Acme API. Give that a description. We'll choose MySQL label. And then we'll start entering the connection information. And this is really kind of the longest part of the entire demo. And it really just tests my ability to type in quickly. Put in our username, and then we'll just copy our password over here real quick. And now that we've entered our credentials, the next step I want to do is determine the type of access that this database API service can have. So really, this is akin to creating something called row-based access control. And here we have full access to the entire schema or database, just the schema access, table access, stored procedures, functions. And within each one of these configurations, I can choose the level of access I want to do. So for instance, if I want table access and we want to do read only on that, I can select that, or maybe I want to have read write access. In addition, I also want this database service to not have access to the schema or functions or even full access, but I do want some stored procedure access, and we'll make those read only. I'll apply the security configuration, and just like that, in the background, what Dream Factory has done is not only spun up all my Swagger API docs for me automatically, it also gives me the ability to immediately test the API key and row-based access control I just generated. So in this case, I'm going to test that API key we just did for my company, Acme. And I'm going to test it against the entire database. And if I hit the test authentication, you'll see exactly what I wanted. And that is that this database service isn't allowed to access everything in that database. So let's choose some of the things we know I did choose for it to access. And in this case, that would be the being able to select all tables. Test that authentication again against my API key, and sure enough, we're good to go. So just in maybe 45 seconds, maybe a minute or less, we've been able to generate the database API. We've been able to generate the row-based access control. We've been able to generate the API key, and I was able to test to make sure it was working correctly. Let's see what went behind the scenes here in terms of what Dream Factory did for us. So the first thing it did for us is it generated a role-based access control. And right here, you can see we have Acme auto role generated for me. If I click into that, this basically has dynamically gone through based on my selections and generated the role against the service I chose or created, the type of component, in this case, all tables, as well as stored procedures, and then the level of access. So for tables, we're looking at basically read-write access only. For the stored procedures, we're just looking at read access. And if I wanted to, I could come in here and add maybe some row level security. I could add different services if I want to, and so on and so forth. The other thing it did after it created that row-based access control is it then generated the API key for us automatically. And here you can see the API key generated for us automatically. We'll click into that. And right away, you see we have the name of the API key and that access role that we just went through already assigned to this API key. So I can now take that API key, okay, And I can come out to maybe my web page here. And in this case, we're going to put in our URL. Okay. And we'll go ahead and open up that web page. And this is what's expected. It's basically telling me, hey, DreamFactory won't let me expose this data until we put in some sort of security, in this case, the API key. So let's go back to my web HTML page. Let's paste in that API key, and let's go ahead and open up that web page again. And there you have it. So now I have a fully secured database API key embedded into my website, all done in less than 5 minutes. So this is a great way for folks to really support any type of production work you're using, any type of front-end applications you want to support, any type of data products you want to support. It really saves a ton of time and puts a lot of simplicity back into API development. My name is Kevin Hood, and thank you so much for your time today.